All right, number 1. It says if sine of theta is equal to 4 over 7 and 0 is less than theta, which is less than 90 degrees, find cotangent of theta. So I want to start off by talking about this piece right here. And 0 degrees is less than theta, which is less than 90 degrees. In other words, theta, our angle, is between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Somewhere in there, which means that we're just dealing with this quadrant on our unit circle. And remember, in quadrant 1 here, everything's positive. Sine, cosine, secant, cosecant, tangent, cotangent, everything's positive. So this is just another way of saying our answer is going to be positive. All right. So the easiest way that I found to do this is to draw our little right triangle here and call this angle theta. So if this is angle theta and sine of theta is 4 over 7, remember sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So let's call this 4 and this 7. That would mean that the sine of theta is 4 over 7. All right, now we need to find cotangent, which is adjacent over opposite. So we need to find this adjacent side. Let's call it A for right now. And we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find this. So A squared plus B squared, which is 4, is equal to C squared, 7. So that's 4 squared is 16, 7 squared is 49. Subtract 16 from both sides, we get A squared is equal to 33. So A is the square root of 33, plus or minus. Let's leave that plus or minus in there right now. So we'll replace this A with plus or minus square root of 33. So the cotangent of theta is equal to the adjacent side over the opposite side. So plus or minus square root of 33 over 4. But because we were told in the beginning that our answer is going to be positive, we can get rid of that plus or minus. It's just going to be positive square root of 33 over 4. All right. Number 3. Number 3 says if secant of theta is equal to 0.54, find the cosecant of theta minus pi over 2. Okay, so this is using our cofunction identities. Remember that each of our trigonometric functions has a cofunction. Sine has cosine. Secant has cosecant. Tangent has cotangent. And we have these identities that say that the secant is equal to the cosecant of pi over 2 minus theta. So this is really close, but these are switched around. We want this to say pi over 2 minus theta. So what we can do here is, let's say that this here, cosecant of theta minus pi over 2 is equal to the cosecant of negative pi over 2 minus theta. Because now we have a positive pi over 2, where here we had a negative. Now we have a negative theta, where up here we had a positive. So we've flipped it around by making this negative. And then we have to use our even and odd identities. So cosecant is an odd function, and so what we can do is bring this negative out front. So this is going to be negative cosecant of pi over 2 minus theta. Now we have one of our identities. Cosecant of pi over 2 minus theta is equal to secant of theta. So we'll just replace this with negative secant of theta. And secant of theta is 0.54, so our answer is going to be negative 0.54. All right?